Recent headlines: President Joe Biden is warning people about the monkeypox. It looks like he's set to engage with Kim Jong-un. But there's something else that's going on behind the scenes, Lee, which is also worthy of the nation's interest, and this relates to the Trump-Russia collusion hoax.
That's right, Brennan. This has been part of the media's main job the last 5 or 6 years, to block any reports of what the Clinton campaign, FBI, and the media itself did to cover up their role in an unlawful operation. But surprisingly, this week we also saw super billionaire Elon Musk tweeting about it, and that in itself may pierce the bubble of silence and get more news out to the American public. Let's look at some details.
This is big news. I'm Brendan Fallon.
And I'm Lee Smith. And we're over the target.
So the major development to come out of this trial of Michael Sussmann, who was the Hillary Clinton campaign lawyer, is that Clinton's campaign manager, Robbie Mook, basically confirmed that Hillary gave the go-ahead for this opposition research on the Trump campaign to be released to the press. Can you give us some further detail on that, Lee?
Yeah, that's what everyone is rightly pointing to, and it's big news. I mean, I think that a lot of people understood, or they assumed this would happen, but to have the campaign manager from Hillary's 2016 run confirm that, she saw this stuff come in, they briefed her on it, she said, yeah, go ahead, send it to the press. And we know there was a large effort trying to disseminate it to the press. It went to Slate magazine, it went to the New York Times, it went to other reporters as well who didn't publish it or talk about it, but it went to the Wall Street Journal. It went to a number of different places, and Hillary said, yeah, go ahead. And as the prosecution made clear, disseminating opposition research to the press is not illegal, right? And it's not illegal to lie about your opponent. This is for better or for worse, a relatively common feature of American politics, lying about your opponent. What the trial is about that same Hillary Clinton campaign lawyer, Michael Sussmann, taking that same research to the press, to the FBI rather, and lying about it. His lie is this. He said that he was not working for a client. And he was, in fact, working for a client. He was working for the Hillary for America. That was Clinton's 2016 presidential campaign. So again, the trial is about taking that information to the FBI and lying that he wasn't working for anyone when he was working for Hillary.
So for those people out there waiting for some kind of conclusion, some kind of justice to be brought to these people allegedly involved in the Trump-Russia collusion hoax, this is good news. Mm-hmm. Overall, with this trial, this is John Durham's investigation, there have been a number of things working against him. One is the fact that there's actually 3 people sitting on the jury who were Clinton campaign donors, apparently. And it looks, one commentator said that basically the only person not on the jury is Chelsea Clinton. So what does this tell us about the kind of...
I hadn't heard that quip. That's a good one.
What does this tell us about the kind of challenges that Durham's faced in the course of his work on this?
Yeah, it's very hard. It's going to be very hard. He's got a D.C. jury, and it's very hard. But I think the other side of it that we need to look at is that John Durham is an experienced prosecutor, and he's known... If we take a couple steps back and look at what he's done and how he's played this politically and what he understands about the world and what he understands about politics. Now remember, he didn't come right after Joe Biden was elected. I was one among many who were concerned that they were going to tell Durham to beat it, right? They weren't going to fund the investigation, but they did, right? And part of that is because Durham laid low. Right? Now look, when Durham started to make indictments, when he started to bring charges against Michael Sussmann, then against Igor Danchenko, you will notice, I haven't graphed it exactly yet, but as Biden's ratings were going down, right, that's when Durham started becoming more active. So he's definitely watching what's happening politically. And as people who know this case very well, and as people who understand politics very well, we may see at a certain point in the run-up to the midterm elections, we may see Durham go dark for a bit. By which I mean not that he's not working, but that he's going to lay back and he's not going to open his investigation to charges of interfering in the 2022 election. The larger point is simply this, that Durham knows the challenges that he has to face. And frankly, this is a good case to bring, right? Because he's got the evidence that Michael Sussmann sent a text to the FBI lawyer, James Baker, saying, oh, yeah, no, I'm not representing anyone. So they have it written down. It should be a slam dunk. Will it be? We don't know, because as we said, D.C. juries are an issue. They don't want to go after, not 98% of the District of Columbia voted for Joe Biden and probably even more than that, voted for Hillary Clinton. So it's going to be a chore. But again, John Durham is a savvy prosecutor who understands the realm of politics as well.
Yeah, it sounds like a keen strategic mind at work here that has a good understanding of the political landscape and how to play it best. I think one concern that people have is that the real masterminds allegedly behind the Trump-Russia collusion hoax won't be brought to justice. This is one quote from James Baker in the course of the trial. He said, "It would have concerned me whether there was an effort to play the FBI and drag us into the ongoing political campaign and make us a pawn in the campaign in some fashion." So it's kind of suggesting that the FBI was innocent in this and basically just an unwitting party that was used as a pawn. And from what I understand, this particular trial, the Sussmann trial, it's not really looking at the FBI or anyone outside of Michael Sussmann so much. Is that correct?
Yes, Michael, I mean, it's pretty narrowly focused right now on Michael Sussmann, but as we're seeing again with what Robbie Mook said last week, it's exposing a lot about the internal operations of the Clinton campaign, of Clinton world as a whole. James Baker, who is the key witness for the prosecution, he appears to have been cordoned off. Obviously he's cooperating, right? Because he's the key witness against Sussmann. But it looks right now in the Sussmann trial that former FBI officials, maybe some current as well, but they're being insulated from what's happening in the Sussmann trial. So, to know what's going to happen or what may happen to the FBI, we may have to wait until the next trial, which is of Igor Danchenko, to see what kind of information that will provide.
Perhaps you could just give the audience a snapshot of what the recent developments are on that front with Igor Danchenko.
Right. Danchenko is the man alleged to be Christopher Steele's primary subsource for all of his information about Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump, which of course is all garbage. And so he was charged with 4 counts of lying to the FBI. And all of these counts of lying to the FBI carry a maximum sentence of 5 years. I can't remember the exact fine, but a maximum sentence of 5 years. So if Sussmann in this trial is found guilty, he could get up to 5 years in prison. Igor Danchenko, if he's found guilty of all 4 charges of lying to the FBI, that would be looking at a total of 20 years. So what's important about Igor Danchenko, and again, I want to separate this from the Sussmann trial, is that he helped put together the dossier, right? The Sussmann trial is about the Alpha Bank allegations, what the garbage at the Clinton campaign and their opposition research firm Fusion GPS and their various allies, right? What they cooked up about Trump's so-called Trump organization servers' connections to Russian financial institution Alpha Bank. But the Danchenko trial is about the composition of the Steele dossier, and of course this is the centerpiece of what most of us refer to as Russiagate.
And the development of the Clinton campaign's manager, Robbie Mook, actually coming out with that information about Hillary Clinton, that she was the one, she gave the green light for this information to go to the press. This is certainly an indicator that the truth could be coming to light, and quite shocking that he would betray Hillary Clinton to that extent. If you're enjoying this episode on the Russia collusion hoax on YouTube, why not check out the full version on Epoch TV?
Watch us on Epoch TV, where you'll find Over the Target and all of your favorite great Epoch TV shows.